give you a number in terms of how many roads were open and closed and all that. It was that part of the process that went through the management plan. So that's what you'll see over the next several years. I think the management plan is a key thing that we really want people to engage in and participate.
And I will just add that there are certain things that we do immediately. We all know that both use the subject to a rationing. A lot of water moves over those trails. And when the trails get like that, there's an opportunity for stands that so we did plan on bring major projects, taking a greater and so out, so that will be the first thing. We'll begin our science making sure that those so kind of the first things you'll see is demonstrated a complete science and we'll off the road and people all the time.
So you say that the people who already have mining claims will be able to retain their claims. That's correct. Will there be any more new mining claims out there? Will everybody lose their claim or they can't transfer anyone?
So mining with 1998 resource management decision, the whole Butte area, which is 50,000 acres, was withdrawn from the country. So that's done in 1998. There were existing mining claims that lapsed. They did lesser claim owners wanted to develop. We would go through what is called a validity exam to make sure that those claims were a bona fide discovery, and if they were, they would be allowed to develop that claim. That's how that works.
So basically, if somebody loses a claim, then a mining operation just goes away. Is that
That's
correct?
correct.
So how are people supposed to be assured that those people won't be harassed off of their claims? You all have a culture and a history of harassing people with claims and with private property so that they'll give up their claims.
The proclamation is very clear. Valid and existing rights are not affected by the proclamation.
People's rights.
How about your
claim? Are you familiar with?
So our federal government can take away on
No.
rights and claims, in other words.
Probably going to prison.
Daniel P. Love.
No love for Dan Love.
Yeah, I think we know, Dan, that this is not a place that we're going to talk about Dan Love or trials or any of that. That those are personnel matters.
It was a community matter,
that I
sir.
can't talk about.
Well, there seems to be a culture of corruption in the BLM because he went on for several years harassing people to the point where the sheriff in Utah called him public enemy number one. And so we're concerned about this, about agents who basically harass people who are out on these lands and they have to be subjected to this.
Like Al Capone.
The also murderer. Can we move forward, please?
Do you know what Agenda 21 is? You don't know what it is? You're not aware of it?
Wow. BLM personnel does not know what Agenda 21 is.
It's in the federal
But it
register.
is a way of pushing people off their land. It's a way of pushing people out. The way it was done to the Bundys, the way it was done to other ranchers in this area and in other areas. We're seeing it go along. We're seeing it happen all over the West.
Hammonds.
Amen.
Robertson.
Look at Schumer.
In your announcement, you said this was a public information forum to to provide information and answer questions.
They won't
It says
answer
nothing-
my questions.
It says nothing about comments.
It also says other groups are invited to come and
It says
answer
nothing
questions
about
as well.
comments. It's a question, and it's, I don't need.
I have a
to-
question.
Weren't you also complaining about order?
You're providing information to us. I would like that and for you to answer questions. I don't want to, I didn't come here for a platform to be preached at.
Well, then
Go
leave.
home. Go home.
Oh, there's the door right over there.
You know what, you guys have been out of line the entire meeting.
So then leave. There's the door.
We did set this up as a question.
Questions and answers from what I
On the
heard.
proclamation, so let's.
And comments.
I got a question.
Let him talk.
Are you aware that the governing authority of this land, Bunkerville Township, and the Bunkerville Town Board voted unanimously a no on having a monument in their township? Are you aware of that?
Oh,
Speechless again.
No, but the point.
I was at the meeting,
The
and it was voted.
president made the proclamation and the Bureau did not.
And also,
Where'd you
why
get the information
do we
from?
have so many thousands of acres when Gold Butte is 53 miles from here? Call it Gold Butte Monument, go 53 miles and make you a little monument out there. They don't have to encompass this whole mountain, the Bunkerville Mountain. And water. Yeah, I don't understand. You call it a Gold Butte, well, it should be in Gold Butte, not the entire Bunkerville Mountain.
Good one, good one. Back here.
Good job, Jim.
Hey, Steve, after that, we have some questions over here, okay?
Okay.
Over on the left.
Before this monument is established, from what I knew, the federal government had 87% of Nevada land. My question is what is your magic number of when you're gonna stop taking everybody's land? Is it gonna be 90%, 95%, 100%? When does it end? You almost have it all anyways.
Yeah.
How do you live with yourself?
Well, they can't be
I didn't
responsible.
get an answer. I didn't get an answer though. This is a question.
Hi, thank you so much for having us. I greatly appreciate it. I realize the BLM is always put in a difficult position to get so many interests. I work with a lot of youth back in Las Vegas. I have a question specifically to service projects in the new national monument. How soon will it be that BLM will be looking at having more restriction for separate application in space?
Thank you
I don't know if I'm the best one to answer this, or maybe.
Hammer down your Constitution.
Is, but, we have a number of different groups
He's
that
even a
we
squid, too.
regularly work with
It's a
in
shame.
Gold Butte. We have the Friends of Gold Butte, we have the Partners in Conservation, we have the
Friends of
Wilderness
Gold.
Society.
Aren't those the people?
A number of other groups, Rotary Club, other groups. And I would be happy to give you my card and have you give me a call, and I can put you in touch with a number of groups that would be tickled pink to have your help with the service project.
I'm going to be nice. I think there's actually something about Gold Butte that we can all agree on. Will everyone that's in favor of keeping the 600 miles of dirt road open, please raise your hand.
Yeah.
Yeah, but do you want county or federal control on it
Back to the
though?
800.
All in favor of 800?
Going.
We can agree.
Let's have a better question. How many people here are in favor of government tyranny? Raise your hand. Good. You didn't raise your hand.
I have a
Can you hear me? Sideways, right there. I have a comment. I was raised out here. I was raised out there. Shim kind of hit on one topic. In all the years that I was raised out there, Go Butte was 30, 40, 50 miles out. Now, for some reason, just because they drew a line, it goes to the Riverside Bridge. Now, that's encroachment. I mean, if that's the right word. But when did that become a part of Go Butte? Well, because the BLM decided to put it on the map. You get an old map, it's the Bunkerville Mountain Range area, where they moved the line. Another thing is, I'd like to say to some of these older people that enjoy coming out here. They're newcomers to Mesquite, this area, and a lot of them I meet out there on their side-by-sides or whatever. And it makes me happy that they are enjoying the same things that I grew up and I love. But what they don't understand, and I was there in '89 when they decided that the turtle was being stepped on by the cow, which is not true. I did an extensive study for a high school program. We have never found a turtle shell that has been stepped on. If you find a turtle shell and a turtle that's dead, most often it's the little tiny baby ones, and the ravens, as they come out of their burrows, will eat and pick them out. I rode, my dad had cattle out there, so I've never seen a horse or cow ever. I just want you guys to know that are, kind of wooing us, that we welcome you to our community, we welcome you to our desert. But you don't know our history. You don't know how loving it and how the history has been that they just continue to regulate us out of whatever, whether it's out of mining, farming, ranching, or whatever.
Healthcare.
So we don't feel as a young person, we had people all the time come to the ranch, and they were cordial. You know what? A lot of the people didn't even know about our area, but they, just like they're doing with us now, they shut down all the land around Las Vegas area, BLM, then they sold it to the developers. So those land lovers like us that want to go out in the hills and walk and see the flowers or whatever, they did the backcountry byway, put it on the map, so we have a big influx of people. And that's why they're out here, is because the BLM has shut down everything else. Now, little by little, they're regulating everybody out. Just like they moved the line from Go Butte clear to the Bunkerville Bridge instead of 30 miles out. So my answer to you guys, welcome and enjoy, because I do the same thing. But really try to understand where we're coming from. We have watched them regulate the cowboy and all of my ancestors out of the range. It takes I don't know how many acres to feed one cow. So there can't be too many out there because it is desert, and you wonder how they even survive. It has to take a special breed of cattle to even do that. But I'm telling you, they are regulating out, and I want to tell you something. For all of you Go Butte lovers that love that place so much, I'm glad you do, but I'll guarantee you in 2 years, or less, there is going to be places that you have enjoyed that you are going to be locked out of, and you have to remember that we told you that.
This is how it starts.
I have a question. This thing now being a national monument, most national monuments, including our Lake Mead National Recreation Area, are the roads that you say you're going to keep open. They are only open to street legal vehicles. Off-road ATVs are not allowed unless they're licensed to the street. And
Nevada does
Without
not
government
license
permission.
ATVs to the street. Are you planning on closing those roads to ATVs?
No, they're not closed to
By driving
Thank you so much for being here tonight and for public lands. We really appreciate it. My question is just a clarification on the boundary. Can you just clarify where the boundary of the new national monument is? Maybe on like a map up here, and maybe, because it's my understanding that it actually is further south than the boundaries of the ACDC and how they were defined. Thank you.
So on the map, there was the map in the handout. There was a blue boundary, national monument. So there is an area further north that there has areas of critical concern. It doesn't account for all of that. There's a road, I believe, that goes through here that falls. So it's, I don't know how many miles you drive on the Gold Butte backcountry wire before you get there. I think it's around 7 or 8. So you have to go a few miles before you actually get to the boundary. So on the maps you guys have, the blue is the boundary for the national monument. Outside of that is regularly on the maps. Pretty clear.
Now, when you turn on that byway, when you turn on that highway, how far down do you go before you get to Mountain?
According to the website, 7 miles when it used to be 35.
10 miles.
Because it's not in your proclamation.
My name is Ron, and I come here from Old City. I read in the paper having this meeting, and I personally like races. I'm a teamster, but I'm also a boat captain with the Park Service, volunteer, search and rescue, water safety, and we're very short-handed, and all government agencies are short-handed. And you guys over there, you bring up some serious good points.
Thank you.
Access, and I'm a convention teamster. I was a #2 steward, you know, in our area 8 years ago, and about killed me because I'm in the middle of our meathead teamsters and management, and I sleep good at night because I try to do the right thing. And if you don't have the talking like you guys over there, and the talking from you guys, we won't take care of our country. So I applaud you all. And one last thing, UNLV had a symposium about a 1.5 years ago on the Spring Mountains. I have a cabin up there in Old Town. And I didn't realize, but the Spring Mountains, called Spring Mountains for a reason, springs. And it's the 3rd most diversified area in the United States, biodiversity. You got Hawaii, you got some places in the Appalachians, and we have our own Spring Mountains. And in that symposium with all these scientists and stuff, there was one county representative or a liaison. Our representative, Larry Brown, was not there. You're lucky, you got this lady over here. She showed up, she's from the county. This is Patrick? Kirkpatrick. At least you got her here. And actually, they're killing our trees and our aquifer up in the Spring Mountains because they're using salt. And there's different reasons why, but there's no real good reason. So I applaud everybody here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'd like to thank you all again for coming tonight and providing this forum. We really appreciate it. We think that the Gold Butte National Monument is a wonderful new national monument, and we invite everybody to come out and enjoy it. And we look forward to driving and camping and hunting and all the things we've traditionally done, and even into the future. I know that we need a resource management plan before we can really do very much. But what, if any thoughts do you have about putting portable toilets out? No, we can't dig a hole in the ground and put in a big bowl toilet. But how about some portables in, say, the Whitney, Cochran area, some of the other major sites?
That's a great question. I should have also mentioned that to the gal that said, what do we do first out there?
Question they can
Yeah,
deal
I
with.
I think portable toilets for the remainder of our fiscal year is something that we do plan on doing. So I'm hoping that I can get some help maybe from some of the Friends groups or some of the other groups to let us know where would be the best place to put it, that would be the most accessible. And yes, we do plan on that. So thank you for bringing that up.
I'm gonna hold you. You want me to do it for you?
There you go. Hi, my name's Skipper, and one thing I got a question about is in 2016 there was a news article that came out that the BLM was selling land in Clark County. Now, why were you guys able to sell land? That's my question. Where's your authority in able to sell land when you are a management business, pretty much? Because it says right in your name, Bureau of Land Management, not landowners.
That land was part of the Southern Nevada Public Lands Management Act that Congress told us, was back in the 90s, that they kind of drew a line around Las Vegas and they said, lands in this area you need to dispose of. And so Congress gave us that direction. And so every year we go through these 2 sales. Those sales are brought up the different municipalities, whether it's the city of Henderson or Las Vegas or North Las Vegas or Clark County, says these are the lands that we would like to have you sell. And so we coordinate with them, we work with them, and then we put those up for auction at fair market value.
Who gets the money?
BLM. Well, that money goes, 85% stays with BLM to be reinvested back out. In fact, several really nice projects have occurred in the Mesquite, Bunkerville area. Have been paid for with SNPLMA money, Southern Nevada Public Lands Management Act money. 10% goes to the Southern Nevada Water Authority, and then another 5% goes to the state school system.
So what's the definition of public lands then?
That is how Congress, that's what Congress told us to do as part of that act.
But I thought Clark County owned the land.
Are we still in territory?
So we don't have a definition of what public lands is?
You just told to. It's theirs, it's ours, but they can sell it for us.
My question is, how many years is it gonna take a cow to make as much damage as it's gonna take, as you guys are gonna take by putting in a portable toilet and taking your blade out there and making all of these trenches and ways for the water to run where it's been running for years? Like, you're going to knock over so much and destroy so much and blade over so much. When is it, like, that's my question.
When does it stop?
When does it stop? How long is it going to take? I don't know how many cows, rather 300 head of cows, to make that much damage to this land that you guys claim to love and want to protect. Anyone have the answer?
It's all about the money.
It's a stupid question.
That's reality.
No question is a stupid question.
Oh, that one is. It's gonna go down in history.
You're wasting my oxygen.
You are. Let's
You
turn
never-
her
you have-
yard into a monument.
You haven't answered, I have asked several questions, but I've asked 3 questions and you guys have not been able to answer any of them. So, you're just, what? I asked who owns the water. They couldn't answer that. I asked how long it was going to take for those cows to destroy as much as they're going to destroy. And I asked, who has the jurisdiction over that land? I waited my turn. You wait yours.
Go, Bailey.
How you like?
In terms of jurisdiction of land, the Bureau of Land Management has
Jurisdiction.
officially designated jurisdiction of the land. Congress passed
Have you
the
read
Land
the
Policy and
Consti-
Management Act of 1976, in which, 76, that gave, it was the enabling legislation for BLM, and they said on all these public lands, you have the jurisdiction of management of. So you're the stewards of those lands per Congress.
You gotta go back
And that's
150 years.
That's where we, and that's what we follow, the laws of Congress.
Congress disposed of this land in 1866, and it's very specific that the government never had any jurisdiction over it. Go do your homework. 1866, go look at the Guadalupe Hidalgo Treaty. And Arizona.
Prove it!
So anyone else, do you have?
Chris Richards. This meeting is being held at the Mesquite City Hall in Mesquite, Nevada, about a little over an hour north of Las Vegas.
Once again, answers we had, questions we had been answered.
Pick and choose who you want to answer.
I didn't try to answer. We're still
Can't hear.
That's why it's on the
Repeat his
The question was, will there be a ranger station put into the building?
So any kind of infrastructure is gonna have to wait for when we have our planning together. So what we'll do, one of the questions that we will ask everybody will be, what kind of infrastructure would people like to see in Fort Butte? Or what kind of infrastructure do you not want to see in Butte?
Cattle grazing.
So I think we're talking infrastructure. So
Private land.
that will come about with, when we do our planning and when we have our public meetings and take your input. So we hope this is.
Don't even answer the questions when they're asked.
One question also on the potential facilities out there. What are any plans are there for dumpsters?
A committee that doesn't have any votes.
I think I'll have the same answer as the porta potties. Yeah, you're right. When we're coming up on a big season, a beautiful spring, we're gonna need to have both of those temporary facilities.
Yeah, thank you for having this meeting called. We've had a lot of discussion about the roads and the roads open. And I think that some things have been said that might cause confusion if you might find us later. In the proposed national conservation area, there were about 500 miles of roads. We've heard as many as 800 miles of roads called out tonight. In the GIS work I've done, it looks like the national monument proper only has about 350 miles. So I'm afraid that in the future, if we start talking about this and Colby only has 350 miles, people are going to start asking, what about the 500 miles, what about 800 miles? So I think we need to be very careful with that.
No, it's gonna be too late.
And for the people who think we're going to close all the roads, I would invite you to join me with the Prince of Gold Butte Stewardship Program. We're going to be working to maintain the roads. We're going to be using shovels and things. Can't do bulldozers. We're going to be trimming the bushes back from the sides of the road.
Use shovels, maintain the
You're going to
roads.
kill wildlife?
We don't intend to work off the road, but we're going to work to keep the roads open. And for the people who
With
think
shovels.
that we're just going to be closing the roads, I invite you to join me. We'll go out and work on the roads and keep them open.
Then why should you do it instead of us?
Let him talk.
He doesn't have the microphone no more.
On the floor tonight, you can sit down and listen to me.
You're the one standing up, sir.
So I appreciate that comment. Thank you so much. The last slide that you saw in these presentations gave you a website that has some information that if you want to know about roads, you want to know what we've done, that website has loaded on it our travel management plan decision from 2008. And I agree that, you know, we need to be careful about numbers of miles of road, et cetera. But that decision covered 500,000 acres, including the Butte area. So take a look at that travel management plan. It has the numbers of roads per area of critical and environmental center. It has the numbers of roads, the number of miles of roads that are closed and why, and it shows maps of roads that are open. So use that as a resource for getting more information about roads.
I have two questions. The first question is, I heard a story about like a 9-year-old boy getting shot in the back by a BLM agent. I wanted to know if that was true. And the second question I have is why the BLM, before anything ever happened out here, why did they have a need for a militarized tactical force to enforce what they're doing?
Good question. Those things I really can't answer, especially that first one. I've never heard of that situation. So our goal here is to talk about the proclamation tonight and where we're going with that.
Again, thank you for being here. One of the things that I really value about the way that the BLM manages public land is the democratic process that's involved in the planning process. We don't say, and I was wondering, you talked a little bit about what we can see immediately or just in the next upcoming months to a year on the land. But I've also been reading about the BLM planning process, and there's a BLM 2.0 effort, and I know that that revises the planning process a little bit. And so I was wondering if you would mind just taking a few minutes to walk through all of the steps of the planning process, what the entire thing looks like, and then also typically how long that takes. Thank you.
So typically in a planning process, you make the announcement that we're going to be doing a resource management plan. It goes out to the public. It usually has a 90-day scope period where you gather information, you take that information, and you start developing alternatives. Once you build those alternatives, you put a draft out called a draft resource management plan. That goes out to the public for another, usually minimum 90 days. Sometimes it gets extended. And you get a proposed RFP. And then it goes to a protest period, a 30-day protest period. And once that's done, it gets resolved, and then it gets to a final plan. 2.0 is a little bit different. What it is allowing more upfront public involvement. So it actually allows the public to get involved before we get out to a draft. It helps let the public review the alternatives before we put it out to the public. So basically 2.0 is allowing more public input in the beginning. So before we get to a draft, it's vetted a lot more. There's a lot more public involvement than was before. So that's basically the process of 2.0. It's just having more opportunities at different points to have more public input. So more planning, so we have more input from the stakeholders, from the local governments, agencies. So that's basically what 2.0 does, allowing more upfront planning so you don't just get some information, then a draft, and then propose. It's a lot more steps in between. So it's just basically allowing more public involvement.
I don't have a question, I have a comment as well. I've been sitting in this audience listening to it go back and forth. I don't really have a question in reference to
Jeanette
any
Finicum.
of this. I didn't like when the side I was sitting over there was talking out of turn. I thought it was disrespectful. I thought it was disrespectful when I saw people doing it from this side and then walking over and getting in the faces of the people over there. I think both sides have behaved badly to some degree. And then when I didn't like what the side was doing over there, which I am a part of, I get up to leave peacefully because I don't want to behave like that. I don't want to sit over there when people are talking out of turn and being disrespectful to the person who asked the question or to the person who is answering the question. But how dare you call me a name as I'm walking out? How dare you insult me? And I must come back and say that. Calling somebody trash and then telling me that I'm trash, you too, sister, because I had the politeness to walk out when my side was being rude. This is not okay. Not okay. And my family has paid the ultimate price. And I won't take it from any of you in this room until you can stand like my husband did, bravely. Then come talk to me. And how dare you speak to anybody in this room like that? We all can get out of sorts, but we can still be civil. You're here.
He's gonna go try to approach him over there.
Before that transpired, I was actually going to make very similar. There's been a lot of
Move it. Sorry. Shut your mouth. Get out of here.
Just go and tell
Leave
them
it
they're
alone.
sorry.
Now he's bringing conflict.
We would have never put up with any of this. Either side.
maybe they need to be in with you and try to hear everybody's side and try to save our beautiful land.
Let me make a suggestion here. It's about 5 minutes or so before 7. We need to end this. Why don't we take one more question, and then we'll be up here afterwards if you have some specific questions.
That's a nice way to end it. Let's end it on a nice note. That was a nice way to end it.
End it on a question.
Thank you. I'm so glad Jeanette said something. I work with children, elementary children, all day long. And I had to sit here and almost contain myself to say, stop it! Quit acting like 2-year-olds. I don't like that the BLM has come in and is taking this land. I have been here for over 25 years. It's how it's done. But we have to work together. And as far as the lady that mentioned something about feeling safe when BLM was here, I stood and watched a sniper rifle pointed at me while I'm watching children on a playground in Bunkerville. I don't feel safe with BLM, but they're not law enforcement. That's not their job. I definitely think that I would ask that the committee would definitely take these Bunkerville people and let them be on your committee. Don't vet them out. They live out there. Some of these people, yeah, they may rub you the wrong way, but to be rude and tell people they're liars and stupid, oh my goodness, if you're at my school, you'd be standing on the wall for your lunchtime. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I want to thank everybody for participating tonight. Our goal was to talk about the proclamation. I hope that we at least presented some material that at least made some sense. I know that not everybody's going to agree with what's in the proclamation, but our goal is to make sure we talk about it. We want to continue to talk about it as we go through. We're going to be looking at other opportunities in which we can outreach on this. So, please, if you have additional questions, come talk to us. I think we did talk about, Ian Holden, who's our interim manager for the area. He can definitely fill you in at least what our role is, what our mission is, and the rules and regulations and policies that we have to follow. So, once again, I don't know if anybody else from the city is here or Virgin Valley is still here, but I want to thank you very, very much for suggesting this, and we do like to make sure that we do continue to come back and communicate and reach out to everybody. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Well, hopefully we got some answers from that. I got a bunch of empty answers, a bunch of tainted answers. So, but, I agree. There was some people outbursting that should not have outbursted. I do agree on that. And, but things get heated sometimes, so we just have to, try our best, to stay in our good ground and show good character on both sides of the fence.